on the road for a while. How nice is it to come home and have a pretty sizable homestand here?
Well, yeah, we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to starting today, getting some practices in. Obviously, this week being finals week, we just did skill stuff for a couple days and gave the guys a couple days off. College basketball, it is what it is. As the young generation says, we play 9 games in 23 days, and then we play 4 games in the next 28 days. It's just one of those things, it's interesting at this point within our league. I think we've played more away games than any other team in our league. I think that 2 is the most anybody else has played. But it's been a schedule where we've been challenged and we got to get better, and that's something that we've said all along, that we need to learn from the times where we don't play well. Last time out, we didn't play well. And so we need to learn from that. And having a week off, our guys did a great job in the classroom, so that's a positive, very important part of the program. And now we need to get back on the court, get to some practice, and start making some development in some key areas.
I think you had 9 assists at Elon and 7 at Appalachian State. Peyton, we were just talking to him, he said probably a little too much hero ball.
Yeah, again, you always have to be careful with statistics.
Okay.
All right? And so I'll give you a basketball 101. Not that you need it, but it's just everybody plays a different system and style. We saw a lot of zone in a lot of those early games. And in the zone, you're going to get some more assists if you're moving the ball. And we have a pretty good zone offense where you move the ball and go inside out and different things like that. So our assist total were pretty good. Both Elon and Appalachian State play a unique style of man-to-man, where they play a very sagging, protect the lane, go underneath ball screens. They don't hedge with the big. So now every time you come off one of those, if you're good enough, you're going to get an open shot. Jiggets, Peyton, both those guys shot over 50% in both those games because those guys took those shots. So again, it's maybe not as alarming as you would think. We didn't move the ball as well. Mm-hmm. When we got the ball inside, we forced some shots inside, or we turned the ball over trying to force some shots. So the point that was being made, do we need to improve our ball movement and creating shots for other people? Yes, no question about it. But maybe not as an alarming rate as maybe those numbers in comparison to some of our other numbers showed. The other factor that you have to add in is both those games are on the road. And we probably get more assists when we're at home due to the scorekeeping at home. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So those are, what's the correct word? Subjective? Yep. Yeah. So when you add a little bit into that, I agree 100%. We need to move the ball better, share the ball better, create some shots for other people at a higher rate, but maybe not as alarming as it was if you just looked at the black and white numbers of it. So I'd get off the soapbox and go from there.
Stylistically, is that why maybe some of the bigs, their production went down the last few years?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. They packed it in, and they were. If the ball went into the post, they were swarmed in there, and it was a little harder to get in. So what was open a lot in both those games was the 15 to 17 foot pull up off the dribble. And our 2 best guys at that had the 2 best offensive games in both those games. Terrence was able to get to the basket a little more against Elon, but it was a little harder in some of the other areas offensively that we try to capitalize on. Even though I thought Isaiah was much better in the Appalachian State game in terms of scoring around the basket. But I think that the high turnover rate that you saw among the big guys was due to their defensive system.
Heading into the year, you said you were going to lean on your 3 grad transfers
Yep.
for a lot. I mean, how pleased are you with what they've done from leadership and on the court? And all
Well,
that?
Again, thrown into a difficult situation, all of them in new roles, expanded roles, greater responsibility thrown on their shoulders. But you couldn't ask for more of what they've done for us. You know, and at the same time, you got to keep asking for more.
Yeah.
You know, the field goal percentage over the last 2 games is what we would like Peyton and Jiggets to be at. You know, with Terrence, he's one of those guys that in each particular game, he's got to find a way that he can impact it. Sometimes it's going to be getting us 13, 15 points. Sometimes it's going to be just locking down the other team's best offensive perimeter player. Sometimes it's going to be getting 7 assists. You know, because he's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none type of player. And that versatility gives him the opportunity to impact the game in different ways. But again, I think we've had, and those 3 and us as a unit have had some slippage over this last 25 days prior to this week, and now we need to get back on the court and right some of those things where we've slipped in.
In a results-driven business, how do you balance trying to get as many wins as you can versus being pleased with the process and seeing incremental improvements in areas that maybe don't lead to wins?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the big thing. You know, the one thing in going through this process before and looking at some of the times where maybe I made mistake and try to get one more win as opposed to building the culture of the program and what you stand for. You know, we have to stand by those. And even if, you know, guys are starting to figure out, they may make 2 or 3 shots in a row. But if they don't get back on defense, they're coming out. They're coming out. And there's been a couple times so far in games this year, it was a guy starting a revolving door. It was guys were in and out, in and out, in and out. You know what I mean? But if you're doing it right, they may not like it, but they never really wonder why they're coming out. They know. You know, and you also have to do it. You know, I've made with the guys that are playing right now, they know that they're going to be challenged every day to get better, and that motivation to continually improve sometimes has to be the driving force that they have, irregardless of if a result doesn't come back the way we want it to come back as well. And that's really important too. But the guys who are going to be in this program in the future, they need to see this in terms of how, you know, that there are some, as I say, non-negotiables in our program. A lot of that starts in the practice. If guys aren't practicing well or valuing what happens in practice, then they just don't get to play as much, you know. And that's, you know, could that cost you a game here or there? Maybe it could, yeah. But down the road in the big picture, it's going to be what builds a great program.
What can you tell us about David Collins' injury and where he stands?
He injured his knee in practice, and it's not a day-by-day thing, but he's going to be out a little bit. We don't know exactly how long, but no surgery, nothing like that. Just rehabbing now, and when him and the doctor feel that he's ready to come back, then he's going to be ready to go. He may need to wear a brace on it when he comes back, but it was a what would be the term? A sprain.
Okay.
He strained it. I don't know what part of it he did, to be honest with you. But that obviously is impactful to us. It limits kind of, you know, our depth on the perimeter, and if you ever wanted to play small, really limits that, because right now we have 4 perimeter players. You know what I mean?
Foul trouble on the perimeter is not what you want to see.
No, not what we want to see. And, you know, we played some guys with 2 and 3 fouls in the first half the other night, you know.
Nothing else
Yeah, no, they couldn't do anything, yeah, couldn't do anything, so. But this will be a big week. This will be a big week for us, in terms of improving, in terms of getting back on the court, in terms of, you know, some guys kind of breaking out of the lull that they've been in a little bit, or at least give them the opportunity to do it and see what they make of it.
If you could have the opportunity to come out of conference play with a winning record, that would be huge for this program, considering, you know, just.
Yeah, yeah, you know, I'm ticked.
Yeah.
Because you know, because I want to win every game.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so do the guys. But, you know, it's funny, you know, in this day and age, you just take a look around. If you're not ready to play, you're not winning. You have to play well to win games. Doesn't matter who you're playing. It just doesn't, you know? And it goes for the top teams. And then as you start going from the top on down, obviously that margin of error becomes even smaller, you know, and who you're playing and different things. But, yeah, this is an important month for us. You know, we got the 4 home games, and we open up conference play at home. So we got to keep plugging away. We got to keep getting better. There's no question about that. And I thought we did some good things in the Elon game, and we didn't play well in any aspect of the game against App State. And we got to do a better job than that.